Hello, San Angelo. Late yesterday, we learned that the suspect who allegedly assaulted an elderly woman was arrested in Fredericksburg.
Christoval could be getting a major upgrade.
And the burn ban in Tom Green County has been lifted. I'm James Bouligny.
And I'm Tessa Koskovich.
Before the news, we have Amy Mizelle-Flint, who is running for re-election on the SAISD School Board, in studio right after these messages from Jim Bass and Carpet Tech.
It's time. It's Truck Month at Jim Bass Ford. So it's time for you to save thousands. Like $6,000 off a new 24 Ford Bronco.
Are you serious?
I'm real serious. Get $6,000 off a new Ford Bronco. But this won't last forever. Hurry down to Jim Bass Ford, Houston Hart and Arden Road, or 24/7 at bassbutts.com.
My name is Cade Simmons. I'm the site manager here in San Angelo. What matters to our customers, I believe, is what we say is CT quality, CT experience, just making sure their needs are met, taking care of their home like it was ours. You just have to keep thinking of, it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. So just making sure you're taking care of what needs to be taken care of, and just knowing that they can rely on us, I think, matters to them a lot.
Welcome back, everybody. James Bouligny here with Amy Mizelle-Flint.
Yes.
She is on the SAISD School Board, and she is seeking re-election. Ms.
Yes.
Flint, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Now, you are seeking re-election to the SAISD School Board.
Yes.
Kind of talk about what got you involved. You said you had some kids go through SAISD. Just kind of talk about that.
Yeah, sure. So about 12 and a half years ago, the only female member of the board was stepping down and was asking for another female to take her place because she wanted there to be a woman's voice on the board.
Right.
Somebody contacted me and asked if I was interested, and kind of looked into it and thought, I have 4 kids. At the time, 3 of them were already in school. One was a toddler. And I thought, the community has given so much to me that now's my time and my opportunity to give back to the community. So I got on the board. At the time, it was kind of a different way of doing things back then, but they appointed me to the board at the time, and then I ran for election. And then fast forward, 12 years, I'm running for re-election. That toddler is now a freshman in high school. Okay. My other 3 have graduated and are either in college or graduated from college and doing great things in the world. And now I get to continue, with the freshmen, and hope to continue my role on the board.
All came through SAISD, and
Absolutely.
They're all successful in life.
Yes, all doing great things, and happy with where they are, and definitely a regretted attitude to SAISD.
Right. Did you feel like that was important, having a woman's voice on the board? I feel like that's kind of important for, you have obviously boys and girls in school.
For sure.
I feel like it's kind of important to have a different perspective than maybe all men on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important to have perspectives of all kinds on the boards, right, and on the board and on any board, really. And, back then it was businessmen, all businessmen, and Amy. And then, and I'm kind of a nonprofit person, so that also brought a different perspective. But then just a woman's perspective gives the opportunity for, to just give, that other point of view that,
right,
that maybe, a group of 6 men might not have.
Right. Well, especially if they're all businessmen, maybe, that is a valuable point.
Sure. And they were all great guys too. I don't want to make it sound like they needed me or anything.
I'm not trying to disparage them or anything like
sure.
that.
But yeah, I think it's always good to have, another perspective in any group.
All right. And I think one thing a lot of people talk about is they want more transparency with things. What is something maybe you would like to see change, or maybe something that you've already done to help maybe with transparency or things with the board?
Sure. So I think, there are a lot of things going on right now. I think, first of all, I believe perception's reality, right? And so if people don't believe the board is transparent, then obviously there's an issue. I know that, as a board, we've always followed all the rules and we've done all the things that are required of us. I think personally, I'm out in social media and out in the community a lot. I hope that there's not a transparency issue with me personally. Right. But I think as a board, I would love to see, see us be out in the community at more events. I've recently started my coffee and conversations events that I do on Saturday mornings at Bearded Barista, and people come, and there have been some wonderful conversations, both, people who have already been supporters of me and people who didn't know if they liked me or not. And, conversation is the key, and that's communication is the key. And if you don't communicate, then you don't know what you think about somebody or something. So I think, having that transparency, both individually and as a full board is important. And then, really just more community partnerships. I think, if we get more people in the community involved in schools and doing different things, then I hope that people will see that there are, that there are great things going on in our schools, and there are, there's not a big cover up. There's no,
and maybe that transparency
no
wouldn't be so much of an issue.
Exactly. There's no vast conspiracy trying to, achieve any grandiose scheme or anything.
Right.
So I think really just having the opportunity to be in front of more people. And really since COVID, we've kind of gotten away from that a little bit. We never really got back to where we were before COVID. So
I imagine that's kind of difficult as trying to get, SAISD is a big school district. And it might be kind of difficult to try to get back into doing things the way we did things pre-COVID because COVID changed so much.
It changed so much. And there are so many different issues that have arisen since and as a result of COVID. But, hopefully, as a community, we can come together and do great things.
Right. Now, one of the things that you said, we have a lot going on. We have a bond coming up.
We do have a bond coming up.
Might kind of been bad timing with the rodeo bond, but to just talk about the bond, I don't think we've passed one for the school board in almost 30 years?
Yeah, the last one we passed was in 2008.
All right.
There have been two failed bonds since then, and I think 3 or 4 failed before that. So, the issue is that there are only so many ways that you can fund things for schools, right?
Right.
And there's only so much funding. And if you look at the budget of the district, 80 to 85% of that budget goes to salaries. So, if the rest of the budget, that 15% is for all the technology, all the buses, all the programming, all the curriculum, all the supplies. And so, so that 15% isn't enough to save money. It's not like a household budget where you can just put some aside and build enough, the mechanism that the state gives to school districts to allow them to make bigger purchases is a bond, which is essentially like another mortgage,
Right.
And without that mortgage, we're not able to do big things. We've been really good about putting money aside where we can and saving some funds so that we can do things like replace HVAC systems or replace buses or do different things. But you can't build a school without a bond,
Right.
And so, the bond is really to help us, consolidate some schools and make better schools with the ones that we have. Build new Glen Middle School, which if you've been in Glen Middle School, you know that there are some issues there.
I've been in the gym a couple times, and it's
the gym is actually not terrible.
No, it's not. But
I
think it's been the same way since I was, 5 years old.
Yeah,
I didn't
probably.
go through SAISD,
Sure.
but we played soccer in the field next to there.
Yeah.
It's always been the same.
Yeah, we always talk about how around school probably sounded cool in the 1950s or 1960s, but in 2025, where there are so many different security issues and different things we need to do to make sure there's adequate spacing, and it's not a good model for us now, and so that needs to change. And so without a bond, we wouldn't be able to change that. But and then all the additions to Central and Lakeview, and then all the security and safety updates that need to be done. The state requires certain mandates, and I hate to use the word unfunded mandates, but they're either unfunded or not fully funded mandates.
Right.
And the difference comes from the budget. Well, without a bond, then we have to pull from other areas, and that always makes things difficult. So we're hoping to, if that bond passes, we would be able to use some of that funding for the requirements of the mandates, the safety and security mandates that the state has rightfully asked of the
Right.
schools. We want our kids to be safe, of course.
I don't think anybody forgets Uvalde and everything.
Absolutely.
And that after that happened, we had a few phone calls up here about, well, what about safety of schools? And like, you're kind of calling the wrong people.
Sure.
You need to go to the school board meeting and talk to them about it.
Yep.
And it's not like you don't have meetings scheduled. Like
Yeah.
going back to transparency, you have meetings. They're recorded. They're online.
And
They're
people can
live
come.
streamed, and people can show up and ask questions, or they can show up to the Beard Barista on Saturday and talk to you about
Yes,
it.
Saturday at 10:30. I'm there.
All right.
So.
Did I miss anything? Did you want to talk about anything else?
No, I don't think so. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and
Absolutely.
allow me to give this opportunity to talk to our community.
Absolutely. All right. Back to you. Starting things off, yesterday evening, we received an email from the San Angelo Police Department stating that Christian Knowlton, the suspect who allegedly assaulted an 81-year-old woman so severely that she had to be care flighted to another medical facility, was arrested in Fredericksburg. Police Chief Travis Griffith did hold a press conference stating that Knowlton was a suspect, but that could be subject to change, as it is with every press conference. More information will be posted when it becomes relevant.
Going south down 277, Christoval posted a sign marking the future site of the Christoval Performing Arts Center at Christoval High School. The planned facility would house a 900-seat auditorium, a band hall, and a multi-use lobby. The Christoval Performing Arts Center is a special project under the San Angelo Area Foundation that will be accepting support on May 6th during San Angelo Gives.
That's awesome for Christoval.
That
by the
is.
way.
They need something like that.
Yeah, I know they just built that gymnasium that's just the gym from like a private donor. And now and I was wondering where were they going to put this, and then when I saw the pictures and I go at the school, like they need something.
They're growing.
Out there. They
you know?
are. They absolutely are. Speaking of just Christoval, Montgomery County in general, the Montgomery County has lifted the burn ban at the Commissioner's Court on Tuesday. The rainfall received last week was enough to end the somewhat dry conditions that have persisted in the area. The Commissioners will meet again on April 15th to possibly adjust the burn ban and do want individuals to still use caution when burning outside.
Yes, we are still very, very dry in West Texas.
And it's supposed to be windy, so on Sunday.
Of course it is.
So just be careful when you're out there.
When we come back, we'll have weather right after this message from Jay Chandler.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
Into weather, we'll keep it short today. Today and tomorrow, the highs are 90 and the lows are in the mid-50s. On Friday, it cools down a bit to 85, and Friday night, the low will be 56. Over the weekend, Saturday will be 87, and Sunday will have a high of 94. Also, we could see windy conditions on Sunday with wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Why not?
What's one more day?
Right?
What's one more day?
It is just supposed to be one day. Right.
Yeah, until next weekend.
Until next week.
Until next weekend. We'll be right back after a quick word from Kano's Diamonds and Coins.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thank you for watching the Live Daily News Show.
The only locally owned news show in the Contra Valley.
Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms.
And download the San Angelo Live mobile app.
For the live team here, I'm James Bouligny.
And I'm Tessa.